Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Luna Ora. I am the founder of the Sex Magic School of Isis and Lilith, and I channel the information for the sacred union, the real, true sacred union of sacred sexuality from the temple of Isis and Lilith themselves. A lot of sisters in the temple. So today I wanted to talk about the cat position, Coital Alignment Technique. One of my male clients talked to me about this technique after he saw the show Sex Life, which probably some of you saw. And then after he talked to me about this technique, which I love, I saw the show and I was obsessed with it. It's really good. I really love the show because it really shows on so many levels. It shows the subconscious trauma that women have. It shows the suppression of sexuality that women kind of like are forced to have in our society. And also it shows a suppression of sexuality that men have in our society, more in the second season. So it's just a very interesting show when you observe it from the eyes, from, at least from my eyes as a sex priestess, and really loving to see this play of masculine and feminine and the shadows that we all have, and how much they can create chaos in our lives and in relationships, in our lives and the lives of others around us, etc. So putting that show aside, which is really good if you ever wanted to watch it, I would like to talk about the Coital Alignment Technique. So especially for the sacred union, as we do on this channel. So this is kind of an elevated missionary position. I did a video years back about the missionary position and why it is the worst for the divine sexual flow. It's a very basic video. You can check it out if you want, and especially the way it is done by most people. But with the right connection and movement and energetic flow the partners can have, it can be a very, very pleasurable position. Not just physically, but also energetically. So the problem is that most men, when they get on top, as soon as they get on top, like this is subconscious, happens to most men, they begin to thrust, and in the missionary position, the men usually thrusts, and he doesn't have so much patience or sensitivity to the woman's body, to her cervix, to her feelings, to her energy, to anything. He just does his own thing. But in this position, the cat position, which we're talking about today, while the man is still on top, what the man does, if he does it correctly, of course, he grinds. And so he moves in a very different way inside the woman. Grinding is a very different movement than thrusting, all right? When done right, the woman feels a deeper, stronger penetration to her cervix while being stimulated on her clitoris, which is very important. We're going to talk more about the clitoris in this video too, which can bring not only a stronger orgasm for most women, but also a sense, a very deep sense of a deeper emotional and energetic connection to this man. When, of course, the man does it right, and when you have the right intentions. I mean, you can't really do this cat position right technically, but also not have any emotions or heart connection to this woman. She will feel it. All right, so this position offers a few gifts. First, the man has less high intensity friction, so it helps him last longer because he is also focused on being highly sensitive to the woman's body, the shape of her pussy, the location of the clitoris, finding it, feeling it, touching it, being in communication and connection with the clitoris itself, and the depth of her cervix, because this invites the man, this position invites the man to penetrate very deep and stay at that deep position with no large or fast in and out movements, right? Like the thrusting gives you. It also, of course, offers the woman deep pleasure. It fulfills the deep yearning she has to be fully penetrated and fully seen, right? And to be fully filled with power and depth by the masculine. And when the woman experiences a man who knows her body and is not focused on just his own pleasure, both partners win because she can trust, she can open and have more pleasure, which will also give the men more pleasure, not to mention confidence. And I'm going to do a whole new video soon about the male confidence, which I feel we don't talk about enough. And it's a super deep conversation that I can't wait to have with you guys. So let's talk a little bit about the clitoris. So when a man just goes in and out motion, especially very fast, thrusting, usually only for his own pleasure, because, you know, the man also gets aroused really quickly and he can't really think. He just thinks with his penis at that point. So the clitoris is usually being left out in the in and out motions. The clitoris is much larger than that small spot on the pussy that we all know, that most of us know at least. You must remember, dear man, that the clitoris is solely meant to give pleasure to a woman. This is literally an organ that is purely meant for pleasure. It is her most sensitive erogenous zone, which is a complex network of erectile tissue and nerves. It is the most sensitive part of the vulva. The glans alone contains about 8,000 nerve endings. Now, the glans is the external part of the clitoris, the part most people know about and can see on the outside of the vulva, which has a hood on top of it, right? So we usually have to kind of move the hood, move the skin aside to see the beautiful, magnificent clitoris, glans, which we call it. So it is shaped, which has a hood on top. But inside the body, the clitoris has a larger part, all right? So this is not the end of the clitoris. It is shaped like an upside down wishbone, kind of forming like a V shape inside the body of the woman. So the body of the clitoris located behind the glans, think of it like as the top of the wishbone, right? So you have this wishbone inside the body, and this kind of top of the wishbone is where the glans is located, externally, the clitoris itself. The crura are the two legs that extend from the clitoris body. They're the longest part of the clitoris. Together they form this V wishbone shape and surround the vaginal canal and urethra. And the urethra is the tube that carries the pee outside of the body usually. We also have the vestibular bulbs, which are located between the crura and your vaginal wall. They usually swell with blood, and they can even double in size when a woman is fully aroused. And where the legs of the crura meet, the root of the clitoris is there. All right, so like in this position, in this spot. Sorry. Now going back to the cat position, as the man is on top doing this position, you penetrate inside the woman. And then you scoot upwards to the most deepest point you physically can. The deepest penetrative point you can have. Or as much as she can take, obviously, if you have a very large lipstick on you. The man is in a similar pose to the kind of like chaturanga pose in yoga, right? Where your hips are glued to her hips and the chest is upwards. It's facing up. And it's kind of like opening up. So this is also a very symbolic pose for the divine masculine, which reminds him to open his heart, right? Because you are literally with an open heart in this position. Open heart center and keep it strong, keep it very grounded, while open to the feminine's love and yearning for him. This is a very, very powerful, energetic, emotional position as well. Instead of thrusting in and out, this position will help you grind, right? So instead of kind of going like this, you're staying deep inside the woman and you're kind of like moving this way. So you're keeping your connection to the clitoris at all times while you're going very slightly in and out within that range of deep penetration space. And yes, and so it will help you stay in a constant connection with the clitoris. The woman is fully surrendered in this position. She's also you can also as a woman guide the man gently and subtly by, you can raise your hips, move your hips a little bit to find the right position that you need within your cervix. You can also use a pillow to raise your hips slightly higher. You can pull his hips deeper into you to remind him to stay deep and not, not start to thrust when he gets too excited. Remind him to breathe, remind him to slow down. We have to remind you a lot of this, man. Just slow down. Let me see, sorry guys. And also, yeah, and again, you have to really kind of guide him to find that spot that stimulates you the most. You can guide him by movement, by sound, by eye contact, very important, especially in this position if you want to have also create a more emotional connection with your partner. You can also play with your legs to find the perfect position for you. A lot of women find their legs straight in this position, like the men's legs are straight in this position. Very helpful, but sometimes you need to kind of fold your knees and find your right position. And now a tip for the men, there's a time and space for thrusting. Okay, there is a time and space for it. It's not a bad thing. But for most women, grinding in the right way will bring her so much more pleasure. It will bring you more time to feel her and to connect to her body, and it will enhance the experience for both of you. This slow, firm motion that the C.A.T offers us will bring a much more pleasure to your woman, but you must master being attuned to her body and heighten your sensitivity, man. You really, this is a mastery of a divine masculine that every man should really have. And as always, slow down. Just slow down. Connect to your heart center, connect to her, and slow down. Hope this helps. Enjoy exploring this magnificent position, which I really love personally. And I will see you very soon. You can check out my books on Amazon. More books are coming, guys. I'm just doing so much work, so I'm sorry also if I don't post a lot of videos all the time. I will get to all your questions when I can. I promise. I read all the questions. I cannot always answer them. Thank you for sending me emails and questions and things like that. And yeah, you can check out my Sex Priestess program. There are a few more spots for this year, one more spot for the Godman program, and I will see you very soon. I am a priestess of the temple. I am a servant of the mother, and I pray for the awakening of all men and women on planet Earth. Thank you.